Tornadoes strike again. From the plains to the mid-Atlantic, the threat of severe weather erupts this afternoon.
And thousands of families are already dealing with the damage caused by these powerful storms. Find out who could be cleaning up at this time tomorrow.
Well, we are in for another day of tracking severe weather. Thanks for joining us on Day Planner. I'm Vivian Brown.
And I'm Nick Walker. Take a look at the weather headlines for this Wednesday. We are continuing to see severe weather threats throughout much of the same areas that have seen them day after day. We're talking about the Central Plains here, from Nebraska on into Iowa, portions of northern Missouri, and into Illinois. We'll also be watching for a threat here in the mid-Atlantic. With more on that, here's Vivian.
Okay, you see the two tornado watches that have been issued by the Storm Prediction Center. So yes, we are watching the Ohio River Valley all the way to the mid-Atlantic right now. These watches, they mean business because we've had some pretty intense storms as they work across the region. Let's get a little bit closer. Again, this was the one issued earlier. It is effective until 4 o'clock local time, but this one just issued by the Storm Prediction Center goes out at 8. So we have the rest of the evening to track the threat of strong to severe storms. Look at this squall line as it pushes out of the southwestern parts of Pennsylvania right through central West Virginia, and then kind of curving back along the Ohio River, northern Kentucky, right on into the southeastern parts of Indiana. What a rough day we're dealing with so far this afternoon. Now, we have had some stronger storms. Look at this particular cell as it pushed across the southern parts of Indiana and now moving toward the Cincinnati area. So very intense storms we continue to follow. Getting a little bit closer now on the watch, and within this watch we do have severe thunderstorm warnings because of this part of the squall line now as it pushed just east of Salem in West Virginia, but the line itself is moving off to the east, and some of the individual cells are moving very, very quickly off to the east at some 50 miles an hour. Tucker County, you're under a tornado warning right here, so please take cover immediately over the northeastern parts of West Virginia, getting ready to cross state lines into the state of Virginia here. You can see just south of Maryland, the Cumberland area. Please be careful. Again, Doppler radar is indicating very strong rotation, and that means that this is a very intense tornado. So please be careful. Again, it is moving off to the east at some 50 miles an hour. D.C., you're over here, and you can see that the storms are a pretty good ways away, but because they're moving so quickly, the Storm Prediction Center did take under advisement to put out this tornado watch, and it does include the D.C. area as well as Baltimore. So if you're in our nation's capital, watch out because stormy conditions expected for the rest of the afternoon. We're getting a break right now in New York as well as Hartford and the western parts of Massachusetts, but the rain picks up again out on the Cape here and even into the Boston area. This is with the precursor of some wet weather that's moving across northern New England. So the Northeast, the Mid-Atlantic, that's our target area today for the chance of the stormy weather, and we definitely will continue to watch the eastern seaboard. Let's talk to the west coast though, because we have lighter rains here, not so much severe weather. In fact, snow advisories have been issued above 6,000 feet in the mountains of Montana, the Bitterroot Mountains. There are snow advisories in effect. So here is the big picture, what we have going on, a system that's breaking out of the northern Rockies, and of course very, very stormy conditions with a jet stream overhead here across the Ohio Valley toward the mid-Atlantic. So we'll keep you posted throughout the rest of the day. Nick?
Let's talk about temperatures, and wow, we're going to be heating up again for the next few days. Let's go over to SkyTracker 3, and we'll show you just how we could see this warm up. SkyTracker. Okay, well, unfortunately, we don't have that. But let's go to VizWeather 200, and we'll show you the current temperatures now and where we are headed today. VizWeather 200's got these current temperatures, and we're talking about the heat across the south. Houston at 87 degrees, 85 in Atlanta, 72 in Philadelphia, but you're going to be warming up a bit more too. We're already in the 90s here around Charlotte. Prepare yourself. It is going to be a hot time here around the Carolinas, and very dry too. As a matter of fact, the drought, even though it's a little bit better in some portions of the south, we are actually worse in the western Carolinas than we were this time last year. So prepare yourself. With temperatures like this and a lot more sunshine, we could continue to see the drought worsen. 89 degrees, the expected high here around New Orleans today. We should hit 90 in Memphis and we'll be in the 90s in Nashville and in Atlanta. Orlando, too, looking for those temperatures to be up in the 90s. Widespread areas of 90s tomorrow, and the temperatures really soaring here. Could see some records fall tomorrow around portions of the mid-Atlantic and even into portions of the Ohio Valley toward the northeast. But the severe weather threat will be with us here on all of this red area, all the way from the Delmarva Peninsula back toward portions of West Virginia and Virginia. And we'll continue to see more thunderstorms into tomorrow as well. Your temperatures will be building here in the mid-Atlantic. 90 degrees tomorrow for the high in Washington, D.C. with more stormy skies. We'll be in the 80s here in Philadelphia. Cooler toward the north, Boston under the clouds with 63. Vivian?
There's much more to come here on the Weather Channel. We'll take a closer look at how today's storms will impact your travel plans as we work our way through the afternoon. That's straight ahead after your local forecast.
Pollen data provided by the following.